Hello, welcome to Switched On's weekly podcast. This week we've got a few things to talk about. Battlefront 2 trailer, EA's view on the Switch and how they want to position their games in future. And we're going to talk about some Joy-Con mods and how you can change them up for different colours. My name's Mike, I'm here with Riddle. Let's get started on that Battlefront 2 trailer. After you, Riddle.
Sweet. I had a look at the Battlefront 2 trailer, the latest one that they released.
Yeah.
It was good to see the flying option on it. It looked more like
Space
a movie.
battles.
Yeah, Space
Yeah.
Battle flying option. If you played the previous game, I actually personally preferred the previous game's flying to the shooting, to the FPS. Honestly, from my opinion, from playing it quite a bit. Yes, I did get sucked in, and yes, I did buy quite a lot of the expansion passes. I'm ashamed to admit.
I didn't play the first one. I played the original versions way back when. But yeah, I've seen this trailer. It was really all about the space battles. That was basically what the trailer was about. It's saying, yep, this is a big thing. It's a big part of the game. Focusing on this. I think it's really good. Will it have the same sort of fidelity and control as previous games such as Rogue Squadron 2? Time will tell. I think it probably does. It looks really promising.
It was nice to see that they actually had the Republic in it, so it had Darth Maul, because they missed these characters before. And possibly they might even have the latest Star Wars film mixed in there, because that's the impression I get.
I can see DLC packs for that, seeing as the film comes out this year, come Christmas, so I can't see them missing that opportunity. It's a monetary big deal, that. Now, it kind of ties into our next topic, short and sweet on the trailer, because EA's view on the Switch recently. They stated they want to bring games out for the Switch, they want to support it, but they have to see that the demand is there for the supply of the content. They want to use FIFA as a test of sorts on really the consumer's reception on EA games. What do you think about that?
You're putting it onto a Switch that essentially has the greatest lineup of first company, Nintendo's first party. Thank you. First party launch lineup, and then you're going to put FIFA on it. I'm not sure it's going to take as well as they think, because I know FIFA's a popular game. I know that they're putting Ultimate Team in there. However, what kind of base are you aiming at?
That's the key question. I think it's going to go... Well, it can only go one of two ways. It's either going to do really well or do really poorly. It's football, the biggest form of entertainment, biggest sport in the world, a global phenomenon. So there's already a demand for it in that respect, but it's the Switch. Is that what the user base really wants to invest in heavily on? If the Switch is positioned as a secondary console, not that Nintendo's aiming that, but if it is a secondary console, would you then maybe just want to play FIFA on where you've been playing it for all these years, just at home? I mean, I can see great benefits of being able to pop in and out of a game on the go, but then it's a massive online game. How do you balance that with the portability?
And is it going to be cross-play?
Yeah, I mean, EA can't measure their demand for their games. Battlefront 2 is a completely different beast to FIFA. I might only ever buy one of the two games. I'm not going to gauge the success of Battlefront based on the success of FIFA. Oh, FIFA's great. I'm going to buy Battlefront. So it's a really weird decision for them to make. They're taking too cautious of an approach, I think. Just stick Battlefront 2 on the Switch. What if you have to do to parry down those graphics to make it run? Then see where the demand is.
And then make it cross-platform.
Yeah, is there demand for a pared-down version of Battlefront 2 that's portable? That's the real answer. That's when you're going to know if it's worth bringing out these sort of games on the Switch.
But it's still going to look stunning. We've already looked at games like Zelda, for example. I think they're worried that Battlefront 2 will take too much of a graphical hammering. That is why they won't put it on there.
Yeah, I bet there's settings on the PC version that's going to come out that are going to be below what the Switch's specs are. I'm almost certain that there'll be an option to run it down on low at like whatever resolution it is, and all of a sudden you've got a lower resolution than what a Switch can output, lower graphical fidelity. I get the creative vision that some of these developers are worried about when it comes to paring your game's graphics down. You're never going to know if the demand's there unless you give it a go. And what better time to do it than for Star Wars?
Just at
What a
Christmas.
massive franchise, right? Just
Definitely.
before the next film, just before Christmas. Stick on a Lego Star Wars if need be. Whatever you need to do, you need to see the demand. I mean, I don't think EA has anything to do with Lego Star Wars franchise.
No, he doesn't.
No,
They don't.
But if there's a demand for Lego Star Wars, and there could be a demand for Star Wars, I mean, I can't see how there's not a demand for Star Wars. It's synonymous. Those sort of audiences go hand in hand. Yeah, I think EA's making a bit of a mistake here. But then every company's taking such a cautious approach. The only one who has the most brave company third party is Ubisoft.
Yeah.
They've had the guts to put on a few titles, even though them themselves have took a somewhat cautious approach.
Yeah, because they were not putting Assassin's Creed Origins on there, which I can understand. That's the sort of game that, to be honest, I wouldn't play it on a PS4 or Xbox. I'd play it on my PC, just because of the beauty of the game.
It's running in the Unity engine, isn't it? Or is it in the...
I'm not sure what engine.
I'm not sure what engine it is, but that's... Because it's a proprietary engine to them, it might be a little bit more complicated to port stuff over. Maybe that's what it is. I know, obviously, we know that Unreal can be done really quick, really easily. And
it's been well used, Unreal. A lot of games use Unreal.
Well, Nintendo invested all their key developers into understanding how the engine works to provide that support for companies who do want to use it to port games over. I mean, digress. The EA using FIFA as a test is just a very weird one. The Switch is a console, kind of aims at a certain demographic. It's an old school demographic. It's more of a core market. Co-op is a big thing. Bring out
Definitely
Plants vs Zombies, right? Or something that they own a franchise to that just goes with Nintendo.
Yeah, Plants vs Zombies would have been actually a really good shout.
Yeah.
I like
Joy-Con each.
Yeah. Been quite quick. Yeah, stick it on the table. But that would have been like Plants vs Zombies. I played the second one.
Garden Warfare, yeah.
Yeah, Golden Warfare, which was pretty decent. And I thought, it's not really my type of first-person shooter, but I got drawn in for quite a few hours on it, and I was like, oh, this is better than I thought. So I was quite pleased with it.
It's pretty good. It's got solid mechanics to it. It's a well-programmed game. The art style plays to it pretty well as well. There's not really many games like that anymore. Splatoon sort of feels that niche.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I think that's the sort of target EA should be going for. You know, something that is co-op, that's got a quirky art style to it, that is a recognisable brand. I know FIFA is, you can pop a Joy-Con off and play each other on FIFA, but it's not exactly co-op. You can play co-op, but most people don't. It's a head-to-head game. It's online, or
You know. Well, it's going to be pretty hard because you need the extra 2 buttons at the bottom that's on the Joy-Con. If you have it in a full position,
yeah, I mean,
for the control of it.
The only way they're going to get around that is using the motion to sort of override something somehow. It's just going to get messy, and you got at least a clickable analog stick, but then you only have the one analog. Yeah, it's not the game, I think, which is the look at the games that have sold really well and the way that they utilise the Switch and its 3 different modes: tabletop, docked, portable. They play on the controllers and how they can pop in, pop out, and they're easy to use. FIFA's just standard, standard setup, right? You either play it docked, or you play it tabletop, or you play it portable, but the control configuration should be pretty much standard.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll see what EA does moving forward.
Yeah, definitely. I think they're just playing cautious game because they're worried that the Switch won't sell as much as they think it should. But then again, the Switch wasn't really designed purely for what EA wants to put on there. I think the reason why they chose FIFA, honestly, is for Ultimate Team. One, that's their biggest money making.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, FIFA is one of the most expensive games to develop year in, year out. The amount of money and R&D that goes into that game.
No,
the team's massive. The amount of money pumped into those games is massive.
It's the licenses, isn't it?
Yeah, and whether the consumer only sees tweaks and variations each year in, year out, it still is extremely expensive. I think they're copying Capcom and Konami in the respect to Capcom's like, hey, let's test the water with Street Fighter 2, and it sold really well. So like, hey, here's some Resident Evil ports. They're going to sell really well. Hey, here's a more fully fleshed out game. Here's Street Fighter 6.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And Konami, here's Bomberman. Well, Bomberman sold really well. So here's potentially Pro Evolution Soccer down the line.
Oh, that would be a nice one to have on there.
I think Pro just seems to fit more with the Switch. I don't know why. I think they're quirky. They're quite good at creating something quirky and unique for Nintendo platforms. So.
Never had quite a lot of dealings with them. I think I was quite surprised Pro wasn't going on there, which was a bit of a shame because it's probably one of the games I would have bought because I played FIFA 17 and Pro Evolution, and from my personal perspective, I preferred Pro.
Yeah.
I honestly thought FIFA was... The controls were... It's kind of very arcadey and very...
More pick up and play, right? It's like... You know, this is the game you expect to play how you want it to play. And I think...
Yeah, it's very... I still find it very robotic, FIFA. Even though I've played it a lot.
People often get confused because the animation quality is higher in FIFA, so it looks more realistic when you see the movement of the players on the ball. But when you actually look at the core mechanics, I think Pro Evolution Soccer tends to nail it more. The atmosphere, the drama. Sometimes it looks janky, though, with the animations, but...
They are very...
Part of the charm, right?
Yeah, exactly. But then again, if you're playing Pro Evo on a 720p screen, it won't actually look that bad.
Yeah,
because it's portable, isn't it?
I think with Konami they've taken a big step back from major games. They've had a bit of a reshuffle in what their priorities are, but football is too big of a money spin not to continue to make football games. But they've had to sort of reinvent themselves to get back on a level playing field with what FIFA was doing with in terms of critical review anyway. You know, it's par for the course, and now they're almost scoring higher or are scoring higher than what FIFA games are, but they've had to really start fresh and invest a lot of money and time into that, and they don't have anywhere near the team of development team size as what EA has. That could play into part of the reason why it's not on the Switch. Maybe it's just not an investment they could really
commit to.
But again, what is that investment? How much does it really cost to get the game running and port it over?
I think what they should really do, if you've ever played FIFA has Ultimate Team, but Pro has something called My Club. Essentially the same thing, but FIFA's
licensed.
Apart from being licensed, it is extortion to buy the best players. On Pro, you actually have a chance to win the best players. So for me, when I play FIFA, I can't afford like 500,000 coins, and I haven't got the time to A, put into it, or B, I'm not going to spend the money on it. And the thing about the My Club scene is you get to play for money, but it forces you to use players in a certain way. So, well, not a certain way, but it makes you use poorer players to get better at the game to beat harder teams. Whereas FIFA, you can just buy them, you just stuck with the team you've got, you can play through their seasons and then build up a rack of money, then buy your players.
But that's more typical of what the game industry as a whole seems to be shifting towards recently. Is the easy, comfortable gaming, you know? Like, I've said this before, but MMOs in the early noughties were punishing and tough, and there was PvP, and you could lose hours worth of progress, which is what I preferred. But now it's it's friendly. You lose nothing when you die. You might just lose your location, and you might have to spawn and travel back to where you were. And I think that's how mobile games are done. With just here's your free games, your free go, but here's some money if you want to spend and have another quick go. And I think EA's really got into that wheel.
They definitely have. They're doing the same thing with Battlefront as well. You pay to win.
Pay to win, yeah. See, I can't. I mean, I've not played Battlefront, but pay to win is just.
That's for Battlefront 2. Battlefront 1, they didn't do that. They just charged for DLC. But the same thing on FIFA. You got to pay to win, or win the best players anyway.
See, I've never. When I play my football games, I do like a virtual league of nobodies and work my way up anyway.
Yeah.
I'm happy to play with poor players and have 20 shots and hit one on target, but. I can see the appeal, and I can see where they make a lot of their money on it. I think this is their... Maybe this is EA saying we know it's going to sell well. This is the secret to convincing the investors that we should be putting games on the Switch. Who knows?
Yeah, it could surprise them all, because a lot of people see the small reviews I said, because it's got a different engine than the actual FIFA
They're
engine.
using the Frostbite engine. Yeah.
No, but that's not actually a bad thing, because the Frostbite engine isn't always the bin or pinnacle of engines. So you could essentially
What the Frostbite essentially allows to happen is better animations, and better lighting effects, and the actual programming, the mechanics of the way the ball moves around from player to player. From what I understand, it plays the same as the other games, so it feels the same. It's just
That's
that the
a shame.
animation, what will play the same as yeah.
That's a shame. I wanted a different style of play game.
Well, I mean, it will be different to what came before it, but for the Switch version compared to the PS4 version, the actual physics of the game should be the same. The way the AI responds, from my understanding, is it should be the same. If it's not,
it might be a good thing. It might be something they bring out on the Switch, and it's a total different gameplay, or not total, but just enough of a tweak to make it its own entity, which will, ironically, might help sell more Switches, because people are like, oh, actually, I prefer playing it on the Switch.
But if you look at history though, and you look at Pro Evolution Soccer on PC and how it plays like the previous gen versions.
Oh yeah, it's awful.
It's not the same. You're paying for updated kits and graphics for what is an older version of the game. You're not getting the latest version.
You mean we're going to get a legacy version?
Yeah. From what I understand, Pro isn't like that on PC this year. But I don't hope that FIFA isn't like that on the Switch, because that will then be a bad message to Switch owners. It would be a bad message to Nintendo from what third party are doing with their commitment.
It might even be a bad message for fans of EA who just think, oh, I'm not going to buy any EA games, because if they're going to do half an attempt...
Half-baked. Yeah, you just got to commit, EA.
Just
bring out a full-fledged game like Battlefront, like AAA title, and just go, yep, we'll invest. If we have a loss, we have a loss. But you're not going to know until you roll the dice and give it a go.
Yeah, definitely.
Dice, Battlefront. It's a pun there.
Oh, yeah. Or Criterion, which is the other one.
I think we should probably talk about the Joy-Con mods you was looking at.
Yeah.
Interesting topic.
So, recently I've discovered that there are Joy-Con mods in a couple of different colours. I found the article on Amazon. I was just flicking through and found, ironically, I was looking for white Joy-Cons just to see if the shells existed, because I've been looking for quite a while. And because I'm quite into like modern stuff, and I was really interested to see what they had. They had some interesting green and white shell, and obviously they had a couple of colours for you to change the back on. This is something we were discussing earlier. So from the pictures I've shown you, which we will throw in the video, what do you think?
Well, I like it. I mean, I don't mod like you do. I'm very much like I buy everything first party. I very rarely buy third party controllers or any accessories. It's part of the reason just I know what I'm getting from without having to do the research. A bit lazy, but these mods are quite appealing when you see the SNES skin. I mean, I watched a YouTube video way back when where
I know the one.
This guy took some buttons out of a new 3DS, so he had the SNES colour scheme and had to manually grind them down to fit them in and make it all accurate, but he modified the controller to look like SNES colours. But now you can just buy the buttons and the actual enclosure. I think it's pretty cool. But I do think Nintendo's going to do it anyway. Once the Switch becomes a runaway success, like the 3DS, when you start hitting portable numbers, you are going. They've done it. They've always done it. These different. I mean, the Wii U didn't get it. The Wii got bright colours, but they've always released variations. I can see GameCube colour configurations. You're going to get the Zelda set. It's going to happen
without a doubt.
Just bring out the SNES colours. Bring out the SNES Classic. I don't want a decal. I want it to actually be a SNES Switch.
But that's why they brought the Classic out. It's coming out in September, just to sort of hone the hunger until they do one.
Yeah, I haven't got my pre-order.
Oh.
The pre-orders go live in America shortly, actually, in a couple of days, because they didn't get any pre-orders like we did. Probably for the best. They can get the stock right. We just had a bit of a nightmare, didn't we? Where it was like, 10 minutes it's sold out on the official website, and 10 minutes sold out on Argos, sold out on all the major UK retailers. Yeah, another discussion for another time. But yeah, hope guys liked our short but sweet podcast this week. If you liked the video, like, subscribe if you like. And we've got more videos coming weekly. We're trying to get more out as we go on. But stay strict on.